Greg here with Beer League Athletes. I'm a personal trainer and my official title is Corrective Exercise Specialist. So what that means is I'm going to help fix your neck problem. I'm going to start off with some kind of root causes, a couple exercises to help release some muscles that are most likely tight, and then a couple things some exercises you can do at home, real simple, to help strengthen and also release stress in the spine. So with that, let's get started. Studies or polls have shown that 2 out of 3 adult Americans will experience prolonged neck pain at some point in their life. Usually it happens between the ages of 30 to 50. I think that usually makes people go, oh, I'm getting old, so I'm just starting to have pain. And unless you've been in like some type of major accident, car accident, some type of trauma to your neck, the main 2 causes are probably this. You can kind of guess what this is, right? Sitting at your keyboard, right? Get a big, huge like slump through your shoulders. You sit in this position for hours and then you're like, don't know why my neck hurts, right? Well, the other one, it's kind of more recent, but it's like this. You're either on your phone or maybe you're a video gamer like me, sitting in that position, right? And that can cause all kinds of neck pain. So as you sit in this rounded position here for extended periods of time, all of these muscles in the back are being lengthened, right? They're just sitting there screaming like, like please relieve the stress on here, right? What happens is it usually will manifest itself and you'll feel some type of pain in your neck. The biggest culprit, the muscle that is usually the culprit for like, the crick in your neck is called your levator scapula, and we're gonna discuss that. The other thing that happens, especially if you're a guy sitting there doing tons of bench press and you don't really work out your back either correctly or as heavy as you do your chest. So as you're in this rounded state, because we sit in that position so much, and then you start working out your chest, when your chest gets real tight, it further compensates and pulls you into that position, right? Get those guys that walk around that kind of look like apes or whatever. So I'm gonna show you my 2 favorite ways to help stretch through your chest, which will release through here, which will help open you up. Then I'll show you some trigger point therapy that will help release pain through there. That'll probably be the most kind of magical part of this. If you do it correctly, wow, it doesn't hurt anymore. And then a couple of exercises to show you how to strengthen. My favorite and what I found to be the best stretch through your chest is I'm Canadian originally, right? So I got hockey sticks all over the place around my house. But grab some type of stick. Can be a golf club, any type of stick like a broom, something like that. I use a hockey stick. And what you're gonna do here, we're just gonna go nice and slow over your head, okay? So you're gonna go as wide as possible on here to start. The key to this is trying to keep your elbows locked out. You really don't want them to be bent at all, okay? So over your head as wide as you can. If you feel your elbows bending, you need to slide your hands out as far as possible. And when we do this, we are not gonna go all the way down. When you do that, that actually throws your shoulders forward and it can further kind of damage or reinforce the pain that you're feeling in your neck. So from this position, just going over your head, halfway back, and then nice and slow coming forward. So I'll show you that from the side. Just going forward or backwards, right to the midway point and then back again. Now if that feels really loose as you're doing this, I just want you to take your hands, you're just gonna kind of slide them in slightly. Again, to the point where if you go to bend again, you're in too close. So get them back a little bit more. So I feel that a little bit more here. Just keep doing that. I would say do about 25 of those. Should take you roughly, a minute maybe. And you should feel a nice release through your chest. Now the second one, and most people I think have done this or heard of this one, all you're gonna do is stand in a doorway, put both of your arms in the doorway here in this position. You're just gonna move forward. So if I'm pretending I'm in a door here, that's actually pulling my elbows back, which will help stretch the chest. And one way to increase it a little bit when you're in the doorway, just kind of spider your hands up, continue to push forward into that, spider them back down. Just kind of feel the difference, the different pull through your chest, okay? So those are my 2 favorite that will help release tension through your chest. Now I want to show you my favorite. It's trigger point therapy for the levator scapula, which again causes a lot of stress into the neck. Okay, for this trigger point therapy, if you're not familiar with that, basically you're going to put pressure. Every muscle has a different trigger point where if you put pressure on there, it'll make instead of your muscle all tight or whatever, if you put pressure on there, it will actually help it release, okay? So I'm gonna use my Smith machine here. I'll also show you another way to do it if you don't have access to a Smith machine. I just find that this works a lot better for me personally. So if you can see here, it's actually just kind of on my trap, just a little bit towards the back here. Pressure right there, like that's actually a little bit tight on me right now. I'm just pushing with my fingers. I'm gonna take that spot and I'm gonna go right underneath the Smith machine on the bar here. I'm gonna use my other hand just to kind of brace. I'm just gonna stand up into that. Now I do have some weight on here which provides a little bit of pressure pushing down. And you should, sometimes if it's really, really tight, you'll actually feel the muscle kind of spasm and it's trying to kick you off. That means you've really found that trigger point, okay? If you don't feel it right away, it's usually a little bit closer to your neck, again, kind of towards the back of the trap there. Just lean forward slightly and then, again, push up into that. Every time I get a little neck pain, if I do this, almost immediately, like I already feel looser doing that. A lot of times my neck pain evaporates immediately. So I'll show you my other favorite one here. If you don't have access to a Smith machine, all you need is a wall, preferably a doorway or a pole or something like that, and some type of ball. So this is a tennis ball here. You can use like an Indian rubber ball, like a lacrosse ball, even a golf ball. And you're gonna take this same thing, we're gonna put that right in that same position there. Whether it's your doorway or whatever it is, we're going to just lean forward. Basically just using all your body weight here to press the ball. One other thing too, whatever side you're on, let that arm go loose. So my right arm here, if I'm doing my right side, I'm gonna let it go loose. You're just gonna press the ball, put pressure on your ball, push that right into the wall. And now I'm starting to feel that immediately. And I don't personally feel that as much as I do with my Smith machine, but that's very, very effective. You can take this with you if you're on the road or whatever too, right? So that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna show you one other thing you can do. Typically, if you're experiencing neck pain, again, it's a lot of rounded shoulders through like kind of the middle of the back. You've got like a hump back. We're gonna use a foam roller to kind of help loosen that up, and then I'll show you an exercise that you can do that'll almost immediately help relieve tension through the neck. For this exercise, you're gonna need a foam roll. Most of them are like 25, 30 bucks. You can get them at most sports stores. I know they're different all over the world, but here in Colorado, we have like Dick's Sporting Goods, Sports Authority, that type of stuff. I think even like Target, Walmart carry them as well. Usually just a little bit less selection, but it really doesn't matter. Almost every gym should have them, okay? So we're gonna start with this. Basically, if you go look in the mirror and wherever you see the curvature of your spine, that's kind of where I want you to put it. You're gonna start right on your vertebrae there. Just hands right behind your head and go real slow doing this. The first time you do this, you might feel your spine popping. Just make sure you're not feeling any pain. You're just gonna go back as far as so I'm feeling that. You're just gonna go back as far as your body will allow. Just hold that for a second, nice and slow. Come back up. I would do that twice basically on every vertebrae. So coming down. Try to increase it as much as possible. So now I'm just going to slightly move like an inch or so. Just kind of hit the next vertebrae. And then move all the way up your spine doing that until you're not feeling any type of tension. That really should help loosen your back and then open up your shoulders as well. Now I'm gonna give you two exercises, one to kind of help just open up your shoulders again and one specifically for the neck, okay? So the first one here, this is gonna work all the muscles in your back. A lot of people, the first time they do this, they go like, whoa, I didn't realize those muscles were back there. So you just wanna take your palms, you just wanna go face up, keep your elbows in really tight. We're just going to move them out as far as you can. And then just nice and slow back, okay? As you're doing that, I want you to feel your shoulder blades pressing together, okay? So I'm not like moving my hips too much, just moving out as far as I can. I feel the muscles between my shoulder blades there, my rhomboids and everything, they'll fire. That's just kind of waking them up. And then again, that's opening up your chest, a little stretch through there, getting the muscles in the back to fire correctly, okay? So I would try to do that, say, at least like 25 of those at a time. And again, if you're feeling neck pain, do that multiple times a day, like 3 to 5 times a day would be perfect, okay? The next one, and this is the first time I started doing this, I was kind of amazed at how much it relieved pressure in my neck. But all we're gonna do here, so just try to get into good posture again, so we don't wanna be here. Just throwing your shoulders back and not like too far, right? So just kind of back. Best way I heard it described is just like if you had either like just pull your hair basically. If you were to grab your own hair and kind of pull yourself up, just move your shoulders back slightly. That's basically perfect posture. And then from this position, we're just gonna take our chin and we're just going to, you can either physically push on your chin or do it yourself. We're just gonna bring your chin back towards your spine and then forward. So you're basically making like a double chin I usually use my hand to put a little pressure on there. What you're not doing is you don't want to push your chin down or push your chin up. You're just basically smashing your face straight back. And it's good to try to hold that at the back for say like 3 to 5 seconds. So all that's doing, that's allowing a little bit of flexibility through the spine. So it spends all day in this position. Here's another thing too. For every inch your head starts to go forward, it has to hold about an extra 8 to 10 pounds. So you see someone who's like, in their 60s and they're slightly rounded. You see them again in like 5 years, all of a sudden they're like bam, like that, right? You hit a tipping point, and then all of a sudden, if your head goes forward, say 3 inches, that's an extra 30 pounds of pressure every day on those muscles, and they're not made to support that. You get into that super rounded position. So again, this is just kind of helping with flexibility through the spine. Hold, and then back forward. If you're feeling lots of pain, I would try to do 25 of those multiple times a day. The more that you do that during the day, you're not going to hurt yourself doing that. The more that you do that, the faster you're going to relieve neck pain. I hope that's helpful. If you guys have questions, comments, whatever, feel free to email the site or comment below. Thanks.